League of Women Voters, Make a Difference. This is an older one. So I have a bunch of them if you'd like. See me afterwards.
Okay. Our speaker today is our liaison from the League of Women Voters U.S. National, so that's pretty exciting. But what I want to announce is that after, and I'll introduce her in a minute, but after we're done here, I'm going to take her down to Myelina for lunch, and anybody who would like to come and join us and have a chance to chit-chat more with Liz, it would be great. You will be on your own dime, though. Okay? I'm only buying hers. So, but if anybody wants to, just to, you know, have some time to visit, that would be great. So, most everybody in here I know, but I don't, there's a few faces that are unfamiliar to me. My name is Susan Ripley. I'm a member of the League here, and I'm also the president of the League of Women Voters of Idaho. And I welcome you all here today. And I want to introduce to you our speaker, and Liz Bander. As I said, she is our liaison with National. And in all the time I've been coming to League, I've never had our liaison at like one of our little meetings, like the council or convention or something. So I'm really excited about this. And I know others are too. In fact, throughout the state they are, which Tom is going to record this, and then we get to share that link with all the members throughout the state. So that's really, I think that's pretty special, and people are excited to see it. So thank you, Tom. Liz, boy, she joined League of Women Voters early in 2017. So you know what that means? She jumped right in. She believes that in order for democracy to work, we have to work together and focus on issues rather than parties, that democracy is an experiment worth defending, and that women are poised to lead the way to a more representative, more equitable, and more just system. I think we all feel that way here. She is a senior program manager at Microsoft, where she leads multiple operations and infrastructure programs that help people communicate and connect with one another via Skype, Skype for Business, and Microsoft Teams. In addition to volunteering with the League, Liz also teaches Learn to Code workshops for Ignite worldwide, which I'm not sure what Ignite is. Local schools, and just about any group that asks, to students from backgrounds which are underrepresented in tech. She also leads the inaugural committee on mid-career women for AnitaB.org, developing programs that support a goal of gender parity in tech by 2025, and working to ensure we leave no one behind, no matter where they are in their career. And then in her free time, she enjoys horseback riding and dancing, and she and her partner have various animals. Their little farmette in Marysville, Washington. So help me welcome Liz.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yes, we have various animals because there's never a solid count. We're at 3 dogs and 1 rabbit right now. It might change by the time I get back home tonight.
Especially with rabbits.
Yeah. Sorry, there's 1 rabbit. I'm in a cage by himself. I'd like to start today by acknowledging that we're currently gathered on Indigenous land. This is the traditional territory of the Nahum tribe, also known as the Palouse, and the Nimiku tribe, also known as the Nez Perce. So with that, I wanted to get started. This talk is titled The League Way and the Way Forward because that was what I could come up with. But it's really about looking at our past and then looking towards our future and what we want the League to be. Our past has been well documented. There is actually a new timeline feature available on LWV.org that I highly encourage y'all to check out. And it details the entire suffrage movement and how it got started and where the League stepped up and where we fell down. We did not support women of color in seeking their right to vote. Very, very notably, we did not even let them speak on the convention floor until the 1960s, 50s or 60s. I have to check the exact timeline on that. But we have not always done a good job. And we know that, and we acknowledge it. There's so much history out there that I encourage you to read and to engage in. And that's why I really want to talk now about the transformation roadmap and where we're going. We have the history, we're seeing the history. I know that you have a number of commemorative events coming up, or that have already happened, acknowledging and engaging with our very complex history with voting in the United States. It's not always been an equitable system or a just system. It still isn't in many places. We are making strides forward, we're making lots of steps backward, and the League of Women Voters is in a really unique position here to make it better and to help change that, because again, it's issues, not parties. It's not about, I don't care if someone is a member of the Green Banana Party, that's fine. It's about the issues that we connect on. None of it matters as far as that goes. It's really, again, connecting with the issues and speaking to that. When I know right now, a lot of our core issues, it feels very partisan. It feels really partisan sometimes to advocate for voting rights. But that's not partisan to advocate for an issue that is part of our core. So I'm going to talk about transformation versus change. Change, DNA remains the same. It's measuring against the past. It's what were you. So my hair color changes frequently. It's currently blue and green. It was purple 2 months ago, maybe? I don't know. I don't keep track of it very well. But again, it's measuring against the past. What is different from today to tomorrow, different from today to yesterday, and looking at that. Transformation, it's the same DNA, it's just activating different aspects. We have incredible core values and core pieces as part of the League. Nonpartisanship, issues, again, keep going back to this, voting rights, educating voters, educating everyone. I always talk, I chair the Mission Impact Committee, so we own Vote 411 and all of those pieces. And I talk about this. Our mission is to empower voters and defend democracy. There are no qualifiers in either of those statements. It's empowering all voters. The all might be implied, but it is absolutely there. We defend democracy for everyone. Again, that's implied. It's not in the statement because mission statements tend to be shorter than what I would write, but it's there. And so transformation is also using new measurements. It's looking at how are we going to do the work? How are we going to be measured, as opposed to how did we change? And really focusing on what are we doing differently. But again, retaining that core DNA, that core part of us that is the League. So talk a little bit about the strategic priorities from our transformation roadmap. These have been around for a few years. They are still around, they are still in force, they're still part of us. Clear strategic focus. Again, getting the right work done and ensuring that it advances our strategy, making sure that we are tackling our areas. Virginia Case, our CEO at League of Women Voters US, has talked about sharpening our elbows and claiming our space in the democracy space. A healthy League network. This is why I submitted my name to the National Board, because I found it frustrating that I wasn't getting information in what I felt was a timely and effective manner on really important things. So for me, it was very much a, how do I help with this? I'm an operations person. Unblocking things is kind of what I do. My day job and in many other aspects of my life. Don't complain, I'll come to you with a project plan. But it's also ensuring that we're aligned to with that strategic focus, but we're also talking to one another. That was so important for me a few years ago, was right after I joined, I went to a Washington, Oregon joint membership and leadership development training, and it was amazing to be able to connect with people all interested in the same thing and learn from them. And to be able to leverage the long histories and deep technical knowledge on some very arcane and detailed subjects. Campaign finance is not something I am comfortable in, I will say that much. But I know that there are League members who are, and who can help explain it to me and walk me through the very detailed distinctions between federal law, state law, and even local laws. Culture change. Creating a culture that is welcoming, inclusive, trusting, and attuned to the needs of today's volunteers. This is another thing that is critical. We talk a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's all of those things. We can't have a system that is diverse if it's not also inclusive, if it's not also bringing people in and welcoming people and engaging with people, no matter who they are or what they look like, or where they're from, or their background, any of those pieces. I joke, I'm a witch that looks like a witch. You know, in some spaces, that would be really uncomfortable for me to say that out loud. It is still uncomfortable for me to say that out loud, but I don't feel that fear with the league. I feel very comfortable that I am accepted as I am for what I bring to the league. And building upon that, not just for me, but for everyone who walks in the door. Sufficient resources. This is also my favorite thing because I'm not an operations person, but just ensuring that we are doing the right things at national to support the local and state leagues, and that we're getting that communication bilaterally. I don't want to dictate most of the time. There's a couple things, nonpartisanship. I will harp on that a lot. But ensuring that the league at all levels is able to run and maintain for the next 100 years. Because that's really at the crux of it. That's why I joined the league and the board, was because I wanted to sustain us for the next 100 years. I don't want us to be like one of the organizations that has faded. Like many of the organizations that have faded. There are not a lot of 100-year-old volunteer-heavy, volunteer-centric organizations with our kind of infrastructure and capability and knowledge that are still around, and I want us to be around for 200 years. That's a big challenge for all of us to undertake and for all of us to ensure that we are participating fully in this. Okay, so the league way. And this is where we start to interact with this. What is the league way? Y'all can shout stuff out. I'm not teaching 9th graders, so I'm fine.
Voting rights?
Voting
Is that
rights.
what you mean when you're?
It can mean anything. You know, if I don't hear studies from someone, I will be disappointed. But nonpartisanship and voting rights. So,
Education.
yeah,
To everybody.
to everybody.
Fair redistricting?
Yeah, fair redistricting. We have a great national campaign right now. People Power Fair Maps, focused on that and it's head of the census.
Data-driven decision-making.
Data-driven decision-making, yes. If it wasn't studies, it was going to be that. Yeah, it's being very thoughtful about how we make decisions on what positions to take, how we, even the language that we use within the positions. If you read Impact on Issues, it's detailed, very long, detailed PDF or book. Anything else?
Lobbying,
Lobbying, okay, and yeah,
advocacy,
advocacy, yep,
open to men and women.
yep, absolutely. There's so many parts of the league way, and it's different to everyone, and that's the key piece, is that the league way is not a static thing. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not a league way, this is our motto, this is the way we do business. It is different. I have found it very inclusive, not everyone has. I have found the league way to be very, again, data-driven, but also looking at, but sometimes overly data-driven, of the, well, we need a study for this. We have to do this in this process. And so very process-driven. For me, that is a constraint. That is frustrating. For other people, it's guardrails that feel comforting. It's going to be very different. It's okay that it feels different for everyone, but it's